Here we are again, still in Hanley, exploring Appetite's seasonal specials. Some really exciting art installations that are here for us all to enjoy. Behind me is Shimmer Tree, and it has been put together by Dan Fox. Thank you for doing this, really, and for joining us today for this conversation. Tell me about Shimmer Tree.
Okay, so it's a freestanding sound and light sculpture, and it is controlled in real time by the wind. So the speed of the wind blowing across two anemometers that I've got up picks up the wind speed and digitally translates that into something that makes sound and lights play on the tree.
That sounds really complicated, is it?
It is quite complicated. It's been like a process of creating different elements of it and then starting to build them all together. But it has proven to be quite reliable, so that's good in kind of British winter weather.
Well, if it's got wind involved, it's designed for British winter weather, isn't it? So how did you come up with the idea? Where did it spring from?
It started working with a friend of mine who's a lighting designer called Phil Supple. We worked on an illuminated trail in Scotland called Electric Glen, and one year we did a trail where we had Moroccan lanterns with lights in and speakers in trees. It was about 200 metres long, and then the following year wanted to do something similar, but I thought it'd be interesting to try and combine a light fixture and a speaker into something together. So I started playing about with things called tactile transducers, which are the little black lumps on the bottom of here. They're basically speakers, but instead of sending vibrations through the air like a normal speaker would by vibrating a cone, they have a screw thread on them. You can screw them into something and then it vibrates that material and that becomes a speaker. So I had one in my workshop with a piece of dowel screwed on it, touching it on different things, playing some music through the phone, my head, the workbench, various things. Then I had a big old cymbal and I balanced the cymbal on it, and this sound came out which played the music but also had the resonance of the cymbal, and I really liked that. And then I thought, well, cymbals are you can get quite shiny cymbals, quite good for reflecting light. So we developed these lighting cymbal speaker systems with an array of LEDs that uplight the cymbal. And then for the second year in Glasgow, we installed them over, I think it's 150 metres long. There's a kilometre of speaker cable through some woods for this illuminated trail. And then after that, I installed it in a couple of different places, but it took a week to install that, and it was a lot of work. So I thought, could I condense it and make it use all of these sounds, have a sound bath. I like the effect of the sound, but make it easier to put up and more portable, and concentrate the sound, which is, I've been working with, this is an ex-army pneumatic mast from the communications, second-hand from the MOD, I've been using those for aeolian sculptures and various things, and I thought about trying to turn it into a tree, so we made these branches that fit onto it. And then last year added this extra lighting which responds to the audio too.
Wow, and I love how it's evolved as well. It's not just one idea plonked in the middle. Not that you plonk anything, but you know, it's not just one idea done. It's grown and it's evolved, and it's part of you almost, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gone through various iterations and little developments, tweaks each time. Last year is when I started adding the wind, because previously it was all programmed. But when you're going to stand with something for 5 days, you don't want to listen to the same loop for 10 minutes. This doesn't repeat, so that's nice. And also, these days in the arts, it's really hard to get any R&D money to kind of just develop something from scratch. So it's about taking little steps each time, finding something that works and building on it and adapting it and kind of reusing things.
What have people in Hanley been saying as they've been walking past?
Well, earlier today it was raining quite a lot, so there were a few people with brollies who kind of did a little look up and then just carried on. But then there were other people who stayed for quite a while, quite absorbed, saying it was quite spiritual, quite finding the vibration of the sound, I think, and it changes. These are quite directional, so the sound changes as you move around. And people liking the fact that it's responding to the wind in real time and that there's a connection there. A lot of digital stuff is sometimes it's interactive is popular, but you don't always get that tactile feedback that it's, did I really do something when I press this button or squeeze this thing, or it's actually, if the wind stopped now, this would stop making any noise altogether.
So there'd be nothing at all if there was no wind?
It would just go calm within a few seconds, yeah.
And we've had some wind, haven't we? So what has it been like experiencing the sounds of Hanley through the cymbals?
Well, actually, this is a really nice, quiet area. It's not a through road. There's no big buses, and it's actually it's got a good acoustic. But it's a bit like sailing. When the wind gets really strong, it could get a bit high and shrill. So I have to digitally adjust my sails really to kind of change the parameters so that it's within a nice listening range.
Dan, thank you so much. I love that analogy, digitally adjust the sails. So this is Shimmer, part of Appetite's seasonal specials here in Hanley, right by the bus station, until Wednesday. So get down and enjoy it. And it does light up, so night time is going to be pretty special.